Chelsea fans, this is All Chelsea TV and this is Ugo Amadi. So let's dive straight into it. In today's video, we're talking about the transfer reports linking Chelsea to Morgan Rogers and Jorrel Hato of Ajax. Now, I know I've said this before. I spoke about this in the previous video about Chelsea, being linked to Morgan Rogers, and I gave my thoughts and opinions about him. Now, I think he is a very talented player. I think he has high ceiling, and so he sort of falls into what Chelsea look for in players these days when the club is looking to sign players. But I've also said this: do I think he's an immediate needle mover? No, I don't think so. And currently he's being valued at £80 million, and Aston Villa, though are reluctant to let him go, but due to PSR reasons, may be forced to do business with respect to letting Morgan Rogers go. Now, and for me, looking at Chelsea, when talking about the left wing, you've got Bino Gittins, and that's it. Because I don't think Tariq George is going to get any minutes this season, unfortunately. Me, in my Nigerian ways, I would have loved to see him, get some minutes. But in the Club World Cup, he barely played. I think he scored a goal against Tunis, Esperance Tunis, and that was it. And so I don't think he's going to get that much game time. And maybe he might even be loaned to Strasbourg, who knows, or maybe to a championship club. So I see where Morgan Rogers will fit in to the club, so he becomes competition for Bino Gittins, because Chelsea, you need competition. You need competition in the building. So I see the value of him coming in, and £80 million is crazy. It's a crazy amount of money. People talk about his potential. People talk about him being English. I'm yet to see a player score with his English, or a goalkeeper make a save with his English. So for me, the English thing doesn't make any sense to me. In fact, nationality, when you're talking about players, their ability makes no sense to me. Say, we sign this player because he's Brazilian. We sign this player because he is Nigerian. Sign this player because he is English. No, you sign a player because he's good enough to play for you, and then his nationality is secondary, in my opinion. So I think he can be a good fit for Chelsea in terms of he falls into that age bracket, and then you have Gittins there as well, so they can be good competition for them between themselves. And then you're talking about the price, which is crazy, £80 million, and I don't think Chelsea would pay £80 million. Although it seems to me that for sporting directors of football, clearly cannot know those people. What they look at, or where they have issues, or what they have issues with rather, is the wages of players as opposed to the actual transfer fee. So maybe they don't balk at £80 million, but funny enough, I think they balked at £84 million for Hugo Ekitike. So are they going to go all out for Morgan Rogers? Let's see how that shapes out. Maybe they want to do some exchange type thing where you could possibly send, strangely enough, Tariq George on loan. Possibly that could happen. Or could they put João Felix in that mix? Or according to some reports, people are saying it's going to be some sort of PSR, scratch my back, scratch your back type of thing, where Aston Villa could buy Jackson and then Chelsea go in for Morgan Rogers. Or maybe Chelsea could package up João Felix, and sell off to with cash and send the other way to Aston Villa, seeing that the Aston Villa coach is really in love with João Felix. He's tried to get him before Chelsea, just shook everything up, disappointed Samuel Morigion, and then went on to sign João Felix, who apparently wasn't in too much of the money of Enzo Maresca's plan. But so maybe that can be a solution. That can be a way the deal gets done, because I don't think Chelsea will go all out to pay £80 million for Morgan Rogers. So maybe a player plus cash could get the deal done. And then talking about Jorrel Hato. Now, earlier on, that's the midpoint of last season rather, Chelsea was linked to the signature of Jorrel Hato. And my opinion then was, there's no need signing Jorrel Hato because you've got Cucurella, who is playing. You've got Ishio Samuel Smith, who a top-rated academy player. But even more importantly, what Chelsea needed at that point was to sign a striker. But although Chelsea haven't signed the strikers that I wanted, in the likes of your Victor Osimhen, your Victor Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen having his issues with Napoli, Galatasaray looking the likeliest club to get his signature, and then Gyökeres seems he'll be heading to Arsenal, even if Sporting Lisbon and Arsenal are at a bit of loggerheads at this point in time. But Arsenal, once again, they seem to be, the likeliest club for Victor Gyökeres to head to. So Jurel Hato, talking about his qualities, he's got pace, he can play as an actual left back, and can be involved in this investing business that Enzo Maresca loves so much. So he's sort of like a like-for-like, I wouldn't say replacement, but like-for-like backup for Cucurella. So for me, Cucurella is one of the best left backs in the world, and I think he's the best left back that invests in the world, in my opinion. So having Jorrel Hato come on from the bench to provide us support is something I'm all in for, something I'm support for. I will support 100%, 10 toes down. I will double down on it. I've liked Jorrel Hato for a long time. For me, it was just a thing of priorities, because the left back spot wasn't really Chelsea's priority. You needed to get a striker in the building, a top level experienced striker in that, for that matter, but that hasn't been done. But João Pedro has a lot of qualities. He showed what he can do in the Club World Cup. And then you have Liam Delap, who is he's a little more than a battering ram. He can also score goals as well. And I think he's someone that can do a good job coming off the bench, after João Felix, maybe 30 minutes in games, 25 minutes in games. When team centre backs are a bit tired and worn out, he comes in and even makes life, a whole lot more difficult for them. So I think between João Pedro and Liam Delap, that striking position is sorted for now. So Jorrel Hato, it's okay for him to come in, and then this issue of why centre back, which is a crazy thing to me, because people see it as some sort of new thing. Normally if you have your team pressing forward, having the ball, dominating play, you have your centre back naturally shift out to either the left full back spot or right full back spot, being dynamic in that way to get the ball. But now it seems like everything on the pitch, everything the player does on the pitch is a new position. So in other words, I think he can be a very, very good backup for Cucurella, especially as Ishio Samuel Smith. I'm not happy about this, but apparently he'll be heading out very soon. He'll be sold, probably maybe sold to Strasbourg, and then one of the things where Chelsea will have a buyback clause inserted in that contract. So happy with Jorrel Hato coming in, so that's fine for me. Let me know your opinions about these two players. Do you think Rogers is someone that Chelsea should be looking at, or do you think efforts should be focused more on a Hugo Ekitike, for instance? Because I think he in and around the same ballpark in terms of what both clubs will be expecting to get. Because I think Frankfurt are a club that will always want to get what they demand, but I think they wouldn't be all too hell bent on 84 million pounds. So maybe they could go for 75, 76 million pounds at the end of the day. Liverpool are looking like they want to get him, but was that a ploy to see if they could get Newcastle to soften their stance on Isak? Let's see how that shakes down. But overall, happy with these two links. Let's see if indeed it comes to fruition. And let me know your opinions about these players in the comment section. Is that players you want Chelsea to sign, or you expect other players, maybe like a Rafael Leao, for instance, because it seems he could be on his way out of an AC Milan. So let me know your opinions on these players, and I'll see you on your next video. So stay well, stay blessed. Bye bye.